Hey, you're listening to Don't Lie to Your Life Coach podcast with Kim Arrington. I'm Kim Arrington. I'm a life coach, a weight loss coach, an author, and a badass passionate about helping you connect back to your most authentic self. Join me here each week so I can coach you on how to think all those juicy thoughts that get you feeling your absolute best and taking some big ass action. Coaching has changed my life, and it can change your life too. I'm here to give you real life solutions to create a life you'll love. Because the truth is, boo, you ain't just got problems, you got options. Hey, y'all. How are you? I am doing a quick podcast. I'm actually recording this on a Sunday. I don't record on Sundays often, but it's a busy week. Next week, we're having Thanksgiving in the U.S. if you are here, and I got cooking and everything to do. And I'm also doing a weight loss workshop. Hey, you'll always know when I'm doing a free weight loss workshop if you go to www.kimarrington.com/free weight class. Also, if you sign up on that kimarrington.com/weight loss link, you'll also find out when I'm doing free classes. So yeah, I think those are the church announcements. Today. This is an important podcast. I'm gonna get y'all in and out because I got to go to the dentist court and play. But today, this podcast is going to be all about, are you arguing for it or are you arguing against it? Okay, so what does that mean? This podcast is absolutely for you if you make a decision and then you're like, you come up with all the reasons why it can't work. Now, I remember learning about debate in school. And one of the things you did with debate, during a debate, is you came up with all the reasons that you think the opposition, the other side, is going to say that it doesn't work, and you already form your rebuttal. You actually put that in your argument, and then you can go back point by point. You sit and think about all the reasons it won't work, and then you figure out all the reasons it will work. Well, I want to teach y'all that because I hear it all the time. I hear it with my clients. It's probably one of the biggest skills that I teach my private clients. By the way, y'all, I told you I'm only taking 7 clients. I already got somebody slotted. So now it's 6. If you want to work with me, go to kimarrington.com, hit join wait list, and I will get back to you. Even if I have to put you on the actual wait list, I'll let you know that. Here's the thing. This is one of the biggest skills I teach them is how to talk back to what normally comes up with their brain. Your brain is a safety, like if you think about it as a compliance expert or a safety expert, it always is learning, it's always listening, it's always taking in. So if something has hurt you, it will throw up everything to keep you from doing that thing that has hurt you. You need to know that because some of you all believe what your brain is telling you, and it always wants you to be safe instead of successful. To be successful, you got to take some risk. So if you're arguing for it, then that means that you know it's going to happen. But if you're arguing against it, that means you're basically saying, I've made this decision to do it, but I'm going to live in the fact that it's not going to happen. Which one do you all think works the best? Okay. This is a huge stumbling block to your change, lasting change that is second nature, change you don't have to think about, change where you're like, oh, this is just who I am. This is it. If you can begin to, when you make a decision, kind of make that list of how you think it's not going to work, and then come up with tangible evidence why it will work, then this makes you a trustosaurus. Remember a couple of episodes where I said being a triosaurus, like I'm going to try it? No, you're going to trust that you're going to be able to do it. And this is an easy tactic. So I'm going to use this with cooking. I'm a good cook. I'm not saying I knock it out of the box every time, but I knock it out of the box a lot. And one of the things that I realized was I did not like cooking. Like some people love it. I was like, I actually hated it. And for 11 years, I cooked a lot of the time. We did eat out too. I mean, I'm not going to say we didn't eat out a lot because there were periods. But I realized that cooking saved a tremendous amount of money, that it was a healthier choice for my family, that it was an opportunity to have leftovers so lunch could be taken. That's also saving the money, that it was good, all that. So I was like, I sought out how I could like cooking. And I didn't really make a list, but in my mind, I made a list of all the things that I hated about cooking. The time, the amount of days I was cooking, going to the grocery store. So I needed to like ask for help. I needed to go to the store less. I needed to add variety. So I needed to come up with a system. The first step I did was like, I told my husband, was like, I don't want to cook anymore. And for a while, he cooked. It was the first time he had cooked. Really, like, I'm going to be honest with you. I could count on one hand how many times he cooked, before I got really serious. And then he really took it on. And then I was like, this is not realistic. I need to go back and change. Like, how can I show up? And so I was like, I'll give him a day a week and I'll help him to understand how to cook quantity so that we could have it for more than one day. And then I'll also help him with ideas. And then he started to find ideas and things that he wanted to cook. And he loves using the Instant Pot. And that's not usually, I probably use the Instant Pot less than 5 times. And so my stepson likes to use the air fryer. He likes to cook. His mom is a big time cook. So he'll come and bring recipes that they've cooked over at the other house, or, he has a specialties. And so I came up with this system because I've been doing it so long, where we would basically have 2 meals out there. So one meal could be the lunch, the other meal could be the dinner, and then we'd introduce another meal. So let's just say my husband cooks on Monday, and then I cook, and he makes enough for Tuesday. Then I cook on Tuesday or Wednesday, and I make enough for Thursday. And then when we have our son, he'll cook on either a Thursday or he'll cook on the weekend. And then on a Friday or Saturday, we basically eat leftovers. Sometimes we will eat out, and it works really well. I don't hate cooking anymore. I hated that I wasn't using a system. It was time to change the system. So that's what I want you to think about is, for a long time, I was arguing against cooking, like how much I hated it, how I felt so burdened by it, because I'm a professional, right? I had things that I was doing and my business needed my attention. But then when I started arguing for it, like, it's healthier for us, it saves money, it's good, it's lovely. I'm a convenience person, so just walking in there and having something. So I want to talk to you about my client that I had. So my client was trying to figure out what she wanted to do. She had been in the medical field and she realized that she didn't want to do that anymore. And she had been in a situation where she got put into another job. I don't want to give a lot of identifiers about her, so I'm going to be kind of vague. And when she got in the job, she actually liked it. It was in the psych field. And then she started dreaming, because when you do something you like, you begin to dream about taking it further, or how could this be different, or how could I even get more of that? That is completely natural. Do not interrupt that dream phase of where you're ideating about what your next is. So she did that, and she was like, I think I want to go back and become a counselor, a therapist, or whatever. And immediately she started to argue against it. She started to argue against it. She said stuff like, I'm too old to go back to school. She's younger than me, by the way. She's like, one time her kids' bus got there late. She's like, what if I'm at school and that happens? What will happen? Then she was like, I changed my mind too much. I had this whole career and now I'm changing it. And then she's like, well, what if my husband needs me and I'm not there? And she was also a weight loss client. So she was kind of like, well, how's it going to be me walking on campus, and what will like they think about me? And, again, I'm paraphrasing a little bit. So if you're listening, it's I. So we went one by one to help her argue for why she got to live her dreams. And I'm going to tell y'all right now, this is one of the big tenets of midlife. You become a snow globe, okay? Midlife shakes you up. You did it the right way, and then you have a friend who passes away unexpectedly, or you become a caregiver for a parent, or a parent passes away, or something major happens that shakes up your core identity. And it doesn't have to be like someone passing away. It could be you realize you don't want to do the job you've done for years. Your kids are getting older. You've identified so much with them. And I think this is really different for people who are identified as women versus people who are identified as men, because of the societal roles, baggage that it's put onto women as being nurturers. So it's like, it could be midlife could be the first time you really deeply nurture yourself, where you really decide your needs matter, and it will be jarring to the people around you. But if you can get a coach, or you can go to a therapist, or you can talk through it, there's so many resources out there. There's all these books. And guess what? We do midlife different than our mothers did. Okay. The boomers do it a different way. If you're in my generation, Gen X, we do it a different way too. And the millennials will do it a different way, and on and on and on, right? One of the reasons why we do it different is we're being informed by the generation that came before us. We're like, we ain't doing that. We ain't doing it that way. And then someone's going to look at our generation and be like, nah, we ain't doing it that way. Okay. In a way, it's innovating. So anyway, we went point by point, and I was like, okay. And here's a tip for y'all. If you're going to argue for something, choose something you've already made the decision for. Okay. That's a big one. Like, you can pro and con when you're still trying to make the decision, but once you've decided you're going to do it and you've decided to stick with it, like, it's okay if you decide later you don't want to do it, right? But let's just say for the sake of this, you decided to stick with it. That's when you can make the list of all the reasons why it won't work and immediately slot in all the reasons it will work. And then you've got to keep that list close by, because your brain is going to bring up all the reasons it won't work and then bring all the reasons it will. Now, I'm going to tell you all, for someone who's been self-developing since they were 12 years old, I do not make a list of all the reasons it won't work anymore. I think that cooking episode told me I can just like short circuit, long circuit to the way it will work. I don't even want to introduce in my brain the way it's not going to work. I only want to think about how it will work. And if something comes up that reminds me of how it won't work, then I can quickly come back and just ply my brain with, no, it's going to work this way. This is part of the reason why y'all have an affirmation at the end of each episode now, because I want you to be just saturating your brain with why what you want is possible. So let's go back to her. So here's the list of what I told her. So I was like, you've already had experience. She was like, well, I don't know. I've changed my mind about what I wanted to do. I was like, that's totally normal. It's totally natural. It happens in midlife. Congratulations. I was like, you've had experience working in this field. So now you want to go deeper. So decide that you're not changing your mind. You're investigating, go deeper. Let's look at programs. Then I reminded her, I'm too old for this. I was like, professors love older, non-traditional students. I remember being in college with a man who was like, I'm 75, 80 years old. And like the professor deferred to him. And it was great. And so I was like, professors love that. They add so much value, experience, lived experiences to, the conversation. So then I was like, throw money at it, y'all. If you're my client and you have the money to throw at it, I'll say throw money at it. Hire a cleaning professional, hire what's a mother's helper? Should be called a papa's helper, should be called a family helper. Someone who can be there to greet your kids or try to change your schedule or know that this semester classes may be this way, but things will change. So I was like, if the situation happens with the bus, if you have to, you or your husband can leave work and you can figure out your kids, or you can send Aunt Sarah, or you can, in this particular case, they were far away from people, so there wasn't that, but there can be an on-call person, and it's usually good to set that up preemptively in advance, so it's not like a immediate whatever, or your kid can go to after school, whatever. So I told her that she needed to talk to her husband first and get him on board, and then talk to the kids and get them on board and be like, hey, I'm going to be doing this. This is important to me. This is my favorite thing for you to say to your kids, your loved ones. It's time for you all to support me. It's time for you to support me. So then I was like, she was getting deeper. She was getting freaked out. I was like, being freaked out is normal. Keep moving forward. You'll feel less freaked out. Her husband was on board, all of that. So how do you do this? I already told you to make a list and to come up with all the reasons it will work, and to know that possibly you might evolve at some point and you may just come up with all the reasons it will work, not even make the list. That is possible, right? But I teach this method called slap a butt on it, a BUT, but slap a butt. So when you are in a process of trying to argue for it, right? I'm feeling scared about this, but I believe that further down the road, I will be less scared. Something that'll open up a little, even if it's a pinhole of space. I feel like one of the things when she talked about her weight and how will people respond to her, I was like, look, there are people of all shapes and sizes. No one is thinking about you more than you're thinking about you. So everything worked out. Here's another tactic for you. Oh, by the way, now that we're talking about weight, it's time to hear from our sponsors, Half-Life Weight Loss. Let it roll. Hey, I'm Coach Kim, and I'm your last weight loss coach. But I've cracked the code. 65 pounds of weight loss later, and I can teach you how to keep weight off, because I'm going to teach you all about the thing you really want, which is lasting weight loss. All about my weight loss program. It's called Half-Life Weight Loss. Learn how to stop overeating, lose weight, and gain yourself back for successful women over 40. And you better know successful is an acronym that we'll talk about all in my course. But here's the deal. With Half-Life Weight Loss, you're going to get 15 plus hours of instructional videos that you can listen to any time of the day or night. They're yours to listen to as you want. You're going to get a workbook that's going to help you answer all those questions to get you to lasting weight loss. Email support. Okay, I'm going to check in on you via email every now and then. An audio version of the course. So think about it. You're going to already get a video version, right, that you're going to be able to watch, but you're going to get an audio version to take with you on a walk or in the car or when you're doing the dishes. I'm also going to include a downloadable 75 things to do other than overeat, because with Half-Life Weight Loss, I have really 3 goals for you. Learn how to not overeat, which results in lasting weight loss if you continue. Learn all the other things you'd rather do than overeating, and learn how to remember who you truly are. All right, no one does it better than me. So I want to see you here to get it done. You to press go. I want you to do this for yourself. This is the best time to lose weight. You are the best version of you to lose weight, and I'm going to help you every step of the way. It's time to upgrade your solution, and I got you. Half-Life Weight Loss is going to help you gain your whole self back. I got you. All right. Can't wait to see you on the inside. All right, we're back. If you want to know more about half-life weight loss, go to www.kimarrington.com/weight loss. All right. So here's the other tactic I teach called just do 3. Let's just say you have a problem. I'm not getting enough sleep. Then what I would say was come up with 3 things that you can do to get more sleep. So if you come to me, I'm going to say, are you watching your TV at night? Set the sleep timer. And then I would say to you, hey, what's something else that you can relax you at night? Oh, I like to take a shower. Okay, we'll take a shower. And then something else that can relax you. And that might be putting lavender, like a lavender something in your room, like diffusing lavender 10 minutes before you go to bed. The just do 3 reminds your brain that there are solutions to your problem. I tell you this all the time. Every problem has the solution in it. So when you figure out what the problem is, you can also begin to think about what the solution is, right? I'm not feeling happy because I don't have enough friendships. Well, the solution is I want to have more friendships. And then we just do 3. So just do 3 with that. Contact some of your friends from the past. Facebook, Instagram puts us in contact with all these people. Go to meetups like meetup.com where you go based on your interest and you may find a friend. I was just walking with a friend on the trail yesterday and she was like, I met this cool lady. And who knows, maybe they end up going for coffee or tea or lunch or whatever. And then I would say, how are you being a friend to yourself? Like sometimes we do want those external friends, but sometimes we want to increase the friendship that we're feeling to ourselves. So just do 3. Any problem, write down 3 things you can do, and you don't even have to do all 3 of them. Sometimes just doing one of them brings you relief. And then if that gets old, then you got 2 more in the bag right there waiting on you. It helps you feel better instantly. Now, the other thing about arguing for it is there are times you still will argue for it and you will experience challenges and your brain will tell you, oh, then I shouldn't have done it. And the truth is, here's the James Clear quote I love. Major life changes, moving to a new city, starting a new job, ending a relationship, getting married, having kids, etc., will make life harder for the first 100 days before improving. It's not always true that it's a nice reminder that experiencing early struggle doesn't mean it was a bad choice. When you're arguing for it, you still could have challenges. And I really want to make sure you understand that because sometimes we have a little blip in our emotional maturity. We feel like if everything doesn't go smooth and there's not ease, then there's a problem. It starts to trigger that safety mechanism in our brain, like, oh no, not again. Notice where the brain says not again, because the brain is using the past to determine how the present and the future will be. But to be conscious, you will have to use the present to determine how the present and future will be. You cannot always rely on your past to see how things are. Because if you've had a string of bad relationships and you assume all you do is have bad luck in love, you're relying on the past. If you do the work, you enjoy yourself, you begin dating more. Y'all remember I say dating is a numbers game. The more people you date, the more likely you're going to find the person. You are open-minded. You're like, that didn't work. Not a big deal. I feel good about myself, that strong self-concept. Then if you keep doing it, you will get the result that you want. And if something stops working, you will observe it to see if you want to do something different. Because just because something stops working doesn't mean it's not going to start working. I mean, it could start working again, or you can decide that you want to do something different. But we're not going to Instagram our lives. Instagram, to me, gives some of the shittiest advice in the world around if something's not working, then just drop it. Sometimes y'all got to have grit. Sometimes you got to have perseverance. Sometimes you got to hang in there and hang on to the guardrails and know that your perseverance is going to pay off. Where are y'all arguing that it's not going to work? I hear this all the time. It is a pandemic, endemic. It's all of that. It's like viral. I hear all the time the shitty shit that y'all say about how it won't work. And all I want you to do is argue for how it will work. Think about how much that would change if you argued for, like, you were emphatic. Oh, no, this is going to work. I have a situation going on in my life, and I said to the person, yeah, I'm just sitting in the question. I'm just sitting there. I'm going to have faith. I'm just sitting in the question. And the person was like, wow, that's really empowering it. And I was like, yeah, safety comes from me. So if I want to feel more safe, I do more safe things, or I, clue myself into the safety I already have. So I know my baseline. I know no matter what happens, I'm going to always get back to this place. I know how positivity, that's another tactic. Positivity works wonders in my life. So if I'm being really negative, then I need to look at why I am and decide what I need to do to get back to my baseline, which is typically quite positive. I allow all feelings, knowing I'm going to get back to jokester Kim, coach Kim, funny Kim, wise Kim, nature Kim. I know these things about myself. So this is what I'm saying. Y'all, it's almost tennis time. This is what I want to say to you. Argue for it this week. Argue for how it's going to work, how it has to work, how you're not going to stop until it works, how you're going to have massive action, meaning I'm going to keep going until I reach where I want to go, how it's going to work out perfectly, how you're the perfect person to do this, how everything is going to be set up to work out amazingly for you, that you're not going to have to do it all, that help is going to come, that all these amazing things are going to happen. So here's our affirmation this week. Everything I want wants me to. Everything I want wants me to. Everything I want wants me to. How do we use this? When something comes up that's difficult, you can repeat that. You can also use it when you wake up in the morning and just set the tone for the day. Everything I want wants me to. You can say it before you go to bed. Everything I want wants me to. You can see pictures in your head. That's part of what happens when you argue against it. You begin to see all these pictures of what's going to happen. So change the pictures, change your life. So everything I want wants me to means that you have support from whatever you believe in, that things are going to walk into your life to support you, to make this easier. So yes, y'all have a good one. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. I know I am. And allow yourself to transform into arguing for it, not against it. Y'all be talking about all the haters, but if you're the number one hater in your life, that's so easy to change. Argue for it this week. Argue for how it's going to work. Y'all have a good one. Check out another podcast. Push play, tell a homie about it. Go to the website. Like and subscribe on YouTube. Have a good day. If you're on YouTube, put in the comments something that you are going to argue for this week. All right? Love y'all, mean it. Bye.
Are you feeling what you just heard? Good. Repeat after me. You don't have to figure it out on your own again anymore. I'm here to help. Head over to KimArrington.com and download my free video series dedicated to getting you feeling your best right now. Look around, there's some good stuff waiting on you. Got questions? Well, we're always talking on the socials, so find me on YouTube, Insta, and the book. Don't be shy, y'all. Go listen to another episode or join me here the same time next week. Finally, don't keep good shit to yourself. Share this with a homie that could use some help too. Remember, we're not lying to ourselves anymore. We're not lying to our doctors. And you damn sure don't lie to your life coach.